Any other questions? No.
Well, it's a proud moment for me to listen to you. In my initial days of my career, I spent some time in Schneider. It's almost 2 years, in 2005 till 2007. So seeing like such a the great growth for this company, so it's really a proud moment. Well, the question here is like after so many acquisitions and like then bringing the people like from the different culture to your culture, then it requires a lot of communications also because the company is running on like some predefined like systems and the policies and of course then the HR shared services. So what are like your main channels of communication? How like you bring these kind of things to the people so that people they are like more comfortable and like utilizing the best of from the HR shared services?
I didn't get the later part of your question.
Well, the question is like since a lot of people are coming from the different companies through the acquisition. So what my question is like HR shared services is giving a lot of like basically facilities for the employees. So the payroll is there, the recruitment channel is there, then the internal progression is there. So how like the communication channels have been driven in the organization so that these employees, the new people, those who are joining in the organization, can utilize the best out of it?
Right. So first of all, we do have an internal communication department set itself, which is under HR. So the internal communication is managed by HR. We do have a Marcom organization coming under the sales, but we have an internal communication which is managed by HR, and they are responsible in devising the strategies for all internal communication. Plus, of course, we have integration committees which have got representatives from the acquired company and from the acquiring company with representation from different functions. So this particular team is then headed by an integration manager, and they drive it like a project to ensure that the various milestones, the various KPIs, the various activities are managed over a period of time and driven. And through that, we are able to communicate effectively and engage. Of course, your regular town hall meetings, your employee communication and engagement meetings, your electronic media and the SMAC, the social media that we have. We have a Facebook like within Schneider called Spice, through which we are able to communicate effectively to all the people. So it's a combination of internal communications, project management through the integration committees, and your social media and other medias that we are able to communicate.
I'm sorry, like my question was a little different. Let me quote it in another way. Like let's say like I'm the new employee and I have been like part of this transition. So like I joined the company. Obviously right from the first day like I would not be very comfortable in the new environment.
I'm not here.
Okay. Well, I'm saying like that like I'm the new employee and like I'm the part of the transition. So I joined Schneider.
Right.
So right from the day one like I'm little uncomfortable. I don't know about the systems. Right? I don't know about this HR shared services and all. So like what are the communication channels available for me to upgrade myself and then like utilize the best out of it?
That's what I said. As part of the integration process, the first day induction that we do share the various processes, various systems in the organization. Of course, we break it up. We have a large town hall which gives you a very overview of the company, and then we go into specifics at the induction of the HR teams, induction of the finance teams, induction of the IT organization. And in those induction workshops, when it comes to HR, we share with them how HR is modeled in Schneider Electric, what are the 3 pillars, what is it that each one of the pillars do. We introduce the various leaders and then introduce them to the various process and system, and then over a period of time run it like a project to ensure that these people are able to understand and acquire. In fact, I have an example here, Anup here, who's from Invensys, whom we acquired last year. So they went through this whole journey, and today I think they're pretty comfortable to know what exactly Schneider way of doing in HR is and how they integrate into the large organization.
Any other questions? I had one question. A prerequisite for getting efficiencies, the quicker you get to consistent processes, the better it is. And as you said, you acknowledge it in your presentation, is you give time to acknowledge the diversity and assimilation. Within the realms of confidentiality, you can share, could you share any specific example of some process or some company that you acquired where that process was more complex than what you had imagined and how you all got over it? As a real life example, keeping in mind the confidentiality if there is any.
Yeah, I think almost every company is unique by itself. And as I said, of course, the larger the companies, the complexities are much higher. And in most of the time, I find probably all other areas I can harmonize, but probably in terms of compensation and benefits is one area where we really have struggled. Because people come with different compensation structures, different compensation levels, different nomenclatures, FBP plans, the way the grading systems are organized. That becomes a huge challenge, and that's where the whole stumbling block is. Probably all other areas, be it in terms of recruitment, in terms of talent management, succession planning, all other areas we can easily harmonize and standardize it. But when it comes to compensation and benefits, it is possible, but it costs money. Unfortunately, we haven't built it into the acquisition cost. And one of the sessions I've been making and crying from the top to the companies that whenever you acquire, please set aside as part of acquisition a cost for standardization of benefits, which people haven't done. And therefore, the moment it gets pushed into the P&L of the business, then they say affordability is not possible. I can't upgrade myself to the Schneider level, and therefore I continue to keep that particular practice. So compensation and benefits is some area which we have always struggled, but we have a horizon, we have a vision that over a period of time, okay, if your basic pay, it should be 40% of your total cash. If it is HRA, it should be 40% of your basic pay. If it's a variable pay, it has to be in the buckets of 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So these are some of the demands that we have, but to catch up to this from the acquired company, depending on the level of compensation and the maturity levels, obviously Schneider is a better paymaster than all of them. I don't mind acknowledging this, and therefore they do a lot of catch up, and then do they have the money to catch up? That's the biggest question, and it takes time.
But there would be a situation where Schneider or you all would say, stop, enough of discussion, let's do it now. Would there be, the reason I'm thinking, one of the examples was that in one of the companies we knew, we're looking at rationalizing the performance management system. 7 companies, 5 different performance, just rankings. Someone has a 4 point, someone has a 5, Likert scale and all. The discussion on we need to have a common performance, so a language, a common language. 4 months of discussions. I think my company, I have a 4-point scale, it's very critical. The other person says my 7-point scale, my company will collapse within that. Then there comes a point where saying, okay, we've done the discussion, we've had the points of view, but our way now finally has to happen.
Yeah.
Any examples of that?
Sure. One of our thumb rule is that if anything does not have a financial impact, then we would go in for a standardization, harmonization as quickly as possible within the first year. Wherever it has a financial impact, then of course we have a horizon, and then depending on the, like for example, titles is something which we harmonize pretty quickly. I do have people who are 50-member organizations, vice president. Now they could become just a manager in the larger organization. So in such areas, we are pretty quick in trying to standardize it, but where it has a financial impact to the business, then probably we delay it. But non-monetary, we try and harmonize and standardize it pretty quickly into the organization.
That's a good differentiator to have. Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions before we move on to the next presentation? And Ajay takes the stage. Okay. So as we mentioned, that each of the presentations that you will be seeing, different scenarios, different environments, different profiles, different business challenges. So now we have the third presentation, Ajay Bakshi, and Ajay is going to take you through this the journey of Vodafone now. Ajay comes to this this responsibility. He is the Shared Services India Director HR. Again, over 20 years of very rich, varied experience across different sectors and different organizations, and also with experience across and working in cultures which are outside India. So, Ajay, over to you.
I think, thank you very much, Sanjay, for the introduction. And I'm also very conscious that I'm the last speaker. It's always a difficult task. And I know I'm the one who's actually going to be holding you from traffic a cup of tea or coffee or a beer in the evening. So I'll probably keep my presentation short and crisp, but more than happy to take on any questions after that. Before I start on my presentation, can we just move on? Yeah. This moves ahead. So let me give you a bit of a context about what do we do in Vodafone Shared Services India. I'll start with the context here. What are some of our key business lines? And HR Shared Services is one of them. Our challenges are a little unique in this case. We follow a 3-box model. HR Shared Services doesn't have a direct reporting line to me, but it has a kind of a dotted reporting line where we are one of their key stakeholders and customers here. I'll talk a little more in the presentation, but I'll start by giving you a context. What do we do? How do we operate? And the typical complexities and challenges which HR as well as shared services face together, and how do we deliver value to the business? So Vodafone Shared Services in India, we are currently about close to 10,000 FTEs. We've started our operations in 2010, and in a span of about a little less than 5 years, we've grown to 10,000. We are headquartered in Pune with a representation in Ahmedabad, Bangalore and Chennai. Bangalore and Chennai have been our recent acquisitions. We've acquired a company called Cable and Wireless, and we merged it into an entity called Vodafone Global Services Private Limited. So between these 4 shared services centers here, we comprise 2/3 of the workforce. We are a captive, and we cater to 23 operating companies of Vodafone globally, including the India operating company, which itself is a mammoth giant by itself, a $5 billion US enterprise, and one of the top 4 operating companies for Vodafone globally. So 28% of our workforce, that's about roughly 2,800 FTEs, are dedicated to service Vodafone India Limited. The rest of the population caters to 23 23 operating companies globally, as well as 10 group entities like Group Finance, Group IT, Group HR, Group Supply Chain Management, etc. So what work do we do? I won't typically read this slide, but I'll just spend a couple of minutes in giving you an overview here. So being a captive and with a clear mandate that we are to service only the Vodafone Group entities, our service lines comprise of customer operations, which is basically your voice as well as non-voice operations. So we do work for UK, Ireland, and for Vodafone's Gujarat and Rajasthan circles. That is one end of the spectrum, and the other end of the spectrum, the more complex, more value-added work is on BI and analytics, where we do a lot of customer analytics based on predictive analytics, regression analysis, etc. Technology shared services, where we've got various complex lines, right from the very basic running a technology service help desk to application testing, application monitoring, infrastructure management, as well as product and solutions, application design. So it's all about moving up the value chain. Finance operations, here again, right from travel expense monitoring to CapEx, OpEx, to record to report, are some of the key service lines which we cater to. We've acquired Cable and Wireless, which is about roughly 800 FTEs, both based out of Bangalore as well as Chennai, and which has given us a new line. So Cable and the business which we acquired from Cable and Wireless, which is about almost a year back, that gives us a new business line which helps us manage large key accounts. So for us, the key strength was managing our retail accounts earlier, and we used to do a lot of work in this space. But the Cable and Wireless acquisition gives us managing third-party big customers who are Vodafone customers. Network solutions. So roughly, the networks here across 18 countries today are managed by remote from India here, by a networks team. And HR shared services. The reason you see it towards the smaller box here is, it is one of our smaller business lines. In terms of FTE count, it's only 1.78% to be precise of our total FTE count. But in terms of impact, it caters to roughly 35% of the employee workforce in Vodafone globally. So small FTE account, high impact here. I'll talk to you roughly what do we really do in HR shared services. So one end of the spectrum, we take care of recruitment. Recruitment currently is restricted only to the Indian entity. And even in the Indian entity, we don't do recruitment for Vodafone India Limited, which is the operating or the mobility company. We do recruitment only for shared services here. So in recruitment, the lines which I had very briefly covered earlier is one, source and screen CVs. Second, the interview and selection is done by my team here, which is a center of excellence team. So once we meet the candidate, make a selection decision, roll the offer out, then HRSSC gets into the value chain. They prepare the offer, they get back to the candidate, they help onboard the candidate here. There's a lot of joining formalities, documentation which we require to be compliant with our parent company norms. Background screening being an important part of it. So they take care of the background screening as well. So once all of that is done, then it comes back to HR. That is a retained HR team, the business partners and the COEs, to manage the employees through the entire life cycle. So that's one piece of work which HR shared services does in recruitment. The second part is in learning and development administration. We follow this model called the 70-20-10 model, wherein 70% of our actual learning happens on the job through job rotations, deployment, stretch responsibilities, which we give our talent here. 20% happens through coaching, mentoring, and 10% through structured learning interventions like classroom trainings or academies, which we have. So keeping this in mind, maintaining that volume of database, and we've got a number of e-learning courses. Virtually every functional, technical and functional course is available on e-learning through academies. We've got a customer operations academy, a finance academy, a technology academy, an HR academy, etc. Where a person can just log on, register for the course, and after you've registered for the course, then we get an MI here. There's also an assessment at the end of the course. So HR shared services manages the learning and development, administration and MI for us. So they play an important role. The third part here is MI.